I come from the temple of the sun with a message of victory for the people of America and the people of the world. I come as the spokesman for the lords of karma. I come in the feminine ray of truth to exalt that truth of the feminine ray within you. I come to speak of karma as the law of cause and effect, and karma as the destiny not only of America but of every nation upon earth. You have heard of individual influence within the self and within the family and within the community at large. I say that the influence which the individual can exercise and which the individual nation can exert rests squarely on the proposition of karma. Where you are in consciousness rests upon karma. Many among you have very good karma. Karma then becomes your opportunity to fulfill your divine plan. And none of you are without those negative aspects of karma that have brought your souls into incarnation on Terra once again, to try again to fulfill the law of an inner destiny which God has willed and you have affirmed. I am the goddess of liberty. I have stood before each and every one of you as you have passed before the lords of karma prior to taking incarnation in this life. Now I am activating the memory in your soul of this experience of speaking with me. Look into the face with your inner eye, my own face, and that face focused in the statue of liberty. Recall now this gaze of the one who represented the Divine Mother to you. Recall the admonishment of your soul and your vow made to me in person to go forth, to carry that torch of liberty, to give rebirth to the Christ flame and the Christ consciousness. You are here in America, some by birth and some by the destiny of your karma. You find yourself in this place in time and space because I made a commitment to you in the hour of your birth that you would come to know the teachings of the ascended masters, that you would meet those life streams who could impart to you the knowledge of the law and the knowledge of your vow. I promised you that you would meet my representative of the Mother Flame. Why did I make this promise? Because each and every one of you who is seated here tonight expressed the concern to me as the Mother Flame, that you would forget the knowledge of the sacred fire, the law of your karma, and your promise to keep the flame of life. And you implored me to promise you that you would have the opportunity to know the law. Therefore, I have fulfilled this night my vow to many of you. And you are here, and so I also expect, as you expected of me, that you will fulfill your inner vow to the lords of karma and to Saint Germain, to make a more than ordinary effort in this life, to balance your karma and to make yourself available for the fulfillment of America's destiny, to take the flame of the Mother and the Christed ones and to expand that flame into the world dominion of the Christ consciousness. Well, we have come into a time, into an age, when it is imperative that those who have made their vows to keep the flame do so. Therefore I proclaim again, liberty proclaims within you the law of your inner being, and the understanding that now is the time and the space for the light of your own God presence to shine within you. Now is the time to forsake the careless expense and waste of God's energy, of the natural resources of the Spirit, the energy that flows ceaselessly. Now is the time to realize that your Christ self is able to reverse the tide of darkness on Terra, that in that flame is the power, the wisdom of God, to become the allness of God in manifestation. Now is the time to prove the law of the avatars. Now is the time to make yourself a part of the mainstream of the karmic destiny of America. For her destiny is to be the place where the woman clothed with the sun and with a crown of 12 stars rises to deliver the mandate of the Christ consciousness and to give birth to that Christ child. This is the mother within you. I have with me then the assurance of Portia, of opportunity sealed, and the dispensation of our board to give opportunity to this group of devotees for a more than ordinary release of the fires of the mother within you, that your soul might be nourished by the mother's love. For you yourself have earned this dispensation. You have given service to that mother flame. Sometime, somewhere, your devotion and your service has been sealed. And so we capitalize on good karma this night to allow us to enter into the force field of your world, to unlock the fires of the mother, and to seal the raising of those fires for a manifestation of the God consciousness within you, a sealing of the light of the heart, that you might understand and become the Christ. It is America's destiny to reveal the culture of the mother to the world, and the hierarchies of Aries and Libra, fulfilling the light of the heart chakra, come to the aid of those who have heard the call and felt the flame throughout Terra, throughout the 4 planes of Mater. The hierarchies of the sun come forth, and their proclamation is this, that it is by the fires of the Holy Spirit and the all-consuming energy of your own I Am presence that you will bring into manifestation the fulfillment of this fiery destiny. Now, therefore, receive the assignment of the Lords of Karma, that assignment being to surrender a portion of misqualified energy into the flame, that it might be transmuted, that you might have returned to you God's energy purified to work the works of God on earth. The assignment from the Lords of Karma is to give the mantras and the invocations to the violet flame for the freeing of this nation, for the re-establishment of spirals of victory to move forward during this period of the dark cycle, and to establish the initiation of another 100-year cycle, wherein the initiations of Maitreya can be given, wherein the teachings of the mother can be proclaimed, and the mother's children can come into the fountain of living flame, and have their chakras nourished, their souls and hearts and minds nourished by the fires of living love, of immortal truth. The flame of the mother burns and expands The heart of the Divine Mother calls the children of the One into the own. And that calling to the home is the calling of consciousness back to the awareness of reality. It is the karmic destiny of America to experiment in God government, to experiment with the divine documents of liberty. It is the destiny of America to establish Golden Age education, and in the education that is the unfoldment of the heart chakra. It is the destiny for the little children to rise up with that God dominion and that mastery of the quadrants of Mater, whereby they can teach to all nations the way of overcoming on the path of initiation under the Christ and the Buddha and the inner law written in the inward parts. So it is the destiny of America to fulfill the culture as science, a science that liberates souls from drudgery and the toiling that became the karma of those who were expelled from the God consciousness of Eden. And this science is the technology of the Divine Mother. It must not be misused or abused. It must become, with religion, the pillar in the temple of being, so that by the binding of the individual to God as Father in religion, and the binding of the individual to Mother in Mater in science, the aspects twofold of spirit and matter may be fulfilled within the individual. The culture of the Mother is not to be despised. The championing of the individual God flame ought not to be misused through those who take advantage by greed of the system of capitalism and free enterprise. These are to be bound by the action of the sacred fire of the Lords of Karma. For those who misuse the spirit of the individuality of the God flame are perverting the flow of abundance, the flow of the supply of God into the hands of the children of God. Let this nation then be restored to the divine economy and the divine principles of government. Let the essence of these principles be drawn from the source, the one source, of the I am that I am, the true lawgiver of each individual God flame. Let there be a restoration, a regeneration, a rejuvenation, and a resurrection of life in the four lower bodies of those who have chosen to be a free people. And let this choosing be transferred to every nation. Let the example be set, and let it be transferred. I speak to all who love freedom in every nation on earth. Fulfill the light of your karmic destiny. Work to give forth the culture of the Mother in your nation. Whether it be Mother Russia, or Mother India, or Mother China, or Mother America, let it be that the souls of the children of the one flame respond to the call of the Mother in their own tongue, in their own culture, and let their cultures be purified by the flow of the flaming ones, sons and daughters of God, ascended cosmic beings who gather at Terra, at the portals of consciousness, to accelerate God consciousness, to exalt those who would be exalted in the God flame, to bring to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. So let that culture of death, which is not a culture, be swallowed up in the victory of life, and let life flow from the heart of the Mother to her children. Let the life that is God be the fulfillment of the fiery destiny of the individual unto the nation, unto the planet, unto souls in evolutions who must come forth to fulfill their divine plan on earth. And this brings me to the question, of population control. I am very concerned with the control of the incarnation of life waves on Terra, for we who are the lords of karma plan the incarnation of souls who will contribute to the overall pattern of perfectionment on earth. We are the ones who pass on souls who apply for incarnation. Out of every one who applies, there are 2 who remain, who must be denied entree into the portals of birth. Out of every one whose incarnation is granted, there are percentages who never reach incarnation because of the current trends toward birth control through abortion and the abortion of life. And then there is that planning by those who advocate zero population growth. And therefore there is the indoctrination in the mass consciousness against giving birth to children in this age. And therefore those very precious and important life streams whom we have assigned to Terra are denied entrance into Terra by the free will of mothers and fathers who have taken the vow to give birth to souls, but who have accepted the brainwashing of the mass consciousness. I am a mother conscious of the mother flame in cosmic dimensions, and I am very conscious of the gaps in the evolutionary chain of hierarchy now occurring on Terra. I am concerned with coming decades and the absence of those life streams who have been denied opportunity to live, to move, to breathe, to overcome, to attain God mastery on Terra. What will you do in 25 years when the scientists and the great avatars and those who espouse mankind's freedom, those who are returning to liberate the masses, are not there because you have denied them life? What will you do when the ages turn? When there are wars and rumors of wars and pestilence and plague and cataclysm taking the life of many? When the dearth of population comes and there is not the replacement for those souls whose karma will take them from the screen of life? What will you do, O mankind, who have made yourselves prey, fodder for the manipulators? You have believed the lie, and as it is written, your condemnation is just. Because you will have made your own karma, as you say, you make your bed and you lie in it. This is the story of karma. Karma is the exercise of free will. I ask you now, have you exercised free will, or have you been manipulated? You do not exercise free will until you know both sides of the story. Did you know this side of the story before I spoke to you? Did you know that there are thousands of Christed ones awaiting incarnation? You have been told of their courage. You have heard that they come, they are aborted, and they volunteer again, knowing that they may pass through that trauma of dying in their mother's wombs, yet they volunteer again because they are determined to set life free. They are far more determined than many of mankind embodied to liberate the masses, for they see above and beyond the manipulation of the death cult. And therefore they see your souls crying out, pleading with the lords of karma for help, for intercession. They behold the prayers of children. They behold the praying of babies in their mother's wombs, praying for life, praying they will come to maturation to be born in Mater. Souls waiting to incarnate, who are mature, advanced life streams, not only from Terra, but from other planetary bodies and even volunteers from other systems of worlds. They have knocked on the doors of the Lords of Karma in our chambers in the Royal Teton Retreat. They have pleaded for opportunity. We have shown them what they will be up against, and yet they have said, "We will go, we will try. We will work with mothers and fathers. We will find our place. We will find room in the inn on Terra." And so they come, and they continue to come. Now see what the question of abortion brings as karma to the feet of a nation. See what war brings as karma to the feet of a nation. Understand that those who kill with the sword must be killed by the sword. Whether the sword is on the battlefield or in the surgeon's hand, the taking of life bears the consequence. And these consequences place a heavy karma on the people of America, whose destiny it is to bring forth the Christ consciousness, not only in the little children, but through the sacred fires of the heart. As the spirit of Christmas covers the land with the light of the I Am Presence, that spirit of the Christ Mass comes knocking also at the door of your heart, asking that you might pray for the little ones, that they might be born in this auspicious year of 1976, that they might come as the crown of rejoicing of the Goddess of Liberty in celebration of freedom and of life and of living and of the giving of self. I tell you, precious ones, there is no greater fulfillment in all of cosmos than the fulfillment of creation. A holy maternity, a holy paternity, father and mother standing as representatives of the Father, Mother God, giving birth to the Christ child. Unless the fulfillment of creation be manifest within you, whether by giving birth to a child or by giving birth to the Christ light in life streams, you will not know the fulfillment of cycles. Do you understand that the manipulators of the souls of humanity would take from them the fulfillment of the cycles of creation, would abort those cycles? Is it any wonder that we have a sick society and sick people because they are not allowed to create in the image and likeness of God, but they are told to create the ugly and the sordid and the astral and the psychic and the discordant sounds and art forms? And thus, deep within the psyche, deep within the souls of mankind, there is a longing to be free to create as God creates. Oh, the wonder of creation, the wonder of watching before your very eyes a friend, a member of your family, being transformed in the image of the living God because you have allowed yourself to be the instrument of that flame. Oh, the wonder of wonders to see the newborn child and the rebirth in the Spirit. You can be instruments for the magnetization of the God flame. You can be instruments for the salvation of a planet and a people. I speak it now, and I will speak it again and again, for I am delivering into your total consciousness, being and world, the promise of life and of victory through the fulfillment of your vows. I stand before you fearless in the face of the carnal mind and the mass manipulations of the carnal mind, for I know that one word spoken now in your own heart as a prayer to God to transmute that influence, to commit it to the flame, will be answered instantaneously by the edict of the Lords of Karma. I therefore give you an opportunity, a moment of silence, to make your prayer to Almighty God, for in this cosmic moment there is opportunity of legions of angels who come to intercede and to bring to your hearts that which you invoke in the light of freedom. The Lord Christ has said, "Ask, and ye shall receive. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." Each and every prayer uttered in the heart is adjusted now by the wisdom of your Christ self and by the action of the will of God. And therefore any who ask amiss will find their calls adjusted in the Christ consciousness, and the answer to the call will be forthcoming. Some of you have asked for a world, and some of you have asked for the individual. Know this, children of the Sun, that God is not limited, that the infinite consciousness of God can fulfill your prayer for the one or for the billions of souls with equal flow and equanimity, with equal action of the fire of freedom. Therefore I say, whatever call you have made for an individual, according to the will of God and in keeping with that will, it shall be multiplied for every life stream on Terra. This is my promise and the fulfillment of that promise, that you might understand each and every day of your life that which you call forth for all mankind will be fulfilled for all mankind. We refer to this as the maximizing of your calls. Do not limit your calls then, but realize that if you pray for one who is sick, there are millions who are sick, and millions more who know not that they are sick, who require healing in the mind and in the emotions and in the subconscious. Therefore, let the multiplication of the loaves and the fishes by your own Christ self be for the feeding of the multitudes through your invocations and decrees. And do not fail to include in your decrees this which I call forth for myself and my family. I call forth for all mankind and all evolutions of Terra on every plane of consciousness. So then, watch how the Divine Mother will answer your calls made in the name of the living Christ. Understand the truth that the call does compel the answer. And let me, if you will, by your free will, release now into your force field the flame of faith, the flame of hope, and the flame of charity, amplified by the angels of liberty who come now to maximize in the field of your consciousness your faith in the law of God, your faith in the science of the spoken word and the science of the aura, your faith in the teachings of the ascended masters, your hope in your own Christ self for salvation, and the charity which is the flow of the flame, giving and receiving and being the outpouring and the inflowing, the unfolding and the infolding of the sacred fires of love descending from the Most High God. O America, fulfill your destiny and free mankind to fulfill their destiny. Stop the slaughter of the holy innocents and give birth to the Christ children who come knocking at the doors of America, because this is the place where destiny must be forged and won. Must we send them then to other nations, to China, to Russia, to India, to those places where there is not the control of life? Or will you give them room? I place this question before America this night, and I demand that you give answer. Either you make room for the avatars and the Christed ones, or the torch will be passed, and other nations who will prepare them room, who will make way for the coming of the Christ, will receive this dispensation of the avatars. I am knocking at the door of America this night. I demand answer. And I ask for the prayers of the keepers of the flame, for the American people, for their enlightenment, for their awakening in this age. When you deny the mother flame, you deny the Christ child. When you deny the Christ child, you deny your own salvation. For salvation is through each and every one of these little ones who come to be admitted to raise up a golden age civilization which yet can be born in this nation and throughout the nations of the world. Now let the keepers of the flame be solemn in their consideration. You play the role of mediator. You stand in the place of the Christ consciousness for and on behalf of every member of your nation and your community and your family. You have a supreme responsibility to amplify that Christ flame, and I know of no better way than in the exercise of the science of the spoken word. You have a responsibility to see to it that the knowledge of this karma and also of this teaching is spread abroad throughout the land. You have heard the admonishment to not hide your light under a bushel, that bushel of neglect. You cannot sit home on your haunches and there give your decrees and deprive mankind of the knowledge of the law. You must go out into the highways and byways and become teachers of mankind. You must rescue the little children who are born, who come into the schools and who are programmed away from their immortal destiny. You must take up the cause. You must enter the fray. You must fight the good fight for the goddess of liberty. Remember, I have kept my promise to you this night. I have put you in contact with the teachings. Now I say, will you say no to the Divine Mother? Will you say I have forgotten my vow? Or will you stand up tall, take your responsibility seriously, and your word that you gave? Do you not remember that by thy word thou shalt be justified, and by thy word thou shalt be condemned? So it is written, so it is the law of the judgment. I remind you that ere a century is past, all of you will stand before me once again, and you will have in your hands to present to the lords of karma the harvest of good works, or a crop that has failed. And you will stand alone to give testimony to the lords of karma. You will make your report as to the use you have made of this life and this quotient of energy. And then, if you have not succeeded in earning your ascension, you will be there knocking on the portals of birth, and then you will be faced with that dilemma of a programming of a civilization against the birth of the Christed ones, and you will face the karma of your neglect, of your failure to inform the nations, of this karma of denying life. So then, the cycles turn quickly. Many are called, but few are chosen, and those who choose to be the elect of God are those who win. I am counting on you, keepers of the flame, to be winners in this life, and I back you with the full momentum of my life stream. If you will choose to win for light, for freedom. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I bid you good evening. We express our gratitude to the Goddess of Liberty for her contact with our hearts and her release of this most important instruction. It is always such a thrill to be in the presence of the Goddess of Liberty, awakening a devotion we have to her that spans the ages, her great courage and strength, her keeping the flame of the Mother that has welcomed all of us, our ancestors, to this soil. She has held the immaculate concept for our life, for our nation, for our destiny throughout the world. Considering her subject on the bringing forth of children, I would like to mention that in Liberty Proclaims, she speaks of the edict of the Lords of Karma that was a staying action on the birth of the fallen ones, very rebellious life streams who were incarnated on Atlantis, who caused the sinking of Atlantis through their misuses of the sacred fire, their manipulations of consciousness, their black magic. These are the souls who were not allowed to embody until this century, and with them came the wrath of the drug culture and all types of misuses of energy. In Liberty Proclaims, she sends forth the edict that the doors are closed to opportunity to these fallen ones to incarnate until the Christed ones can arrive. So she proclaims the coming of the light bearers. And with that proclamation, made a number of years ago here in this city, began this programming of zero population growth and the abortion of those on the way. And so now we are fighting the battle for the very life of the saviors of mankind. Also included in this book is the vision which the Goddess of Liberty gave to George Washington on the battlefield as he prayed in the cold winter. It was published in 1880 in the National Tribune. And the Goddess of Liberty speaks to General Washington as the son of the Republic. She gives to him the vision of the destiny of America. She shows to him 3 major wars which will come, and she shows the saving of the nation by the rallying of the people around the banner of unity. Unity is the angel by the name of Micah. And that wearing of that banner of unity is a familiar sign to Americans because Micah is the angel who led the people of Israel across the wilderness through the Red Sea into the Promised Land. Micah, unity, the banner of union. He reminds us in the hour of the struggle, in the hour of the divide and conquer tactics of the manipulators, that we are brethren. In the name of liberty, I salute you this night then, as brothers and sisters of the one flame of freedom. Let us vow before Almighty God that we will never again allow ourselves to be divided by section, by north and south, by hatred, by prejudice, by jealousy or envy. but that we will remain one in the white fire core of the Christ consciousness.